Hi, I'm Michael. I'm with Pride in Business, and I'm here with David Oulton from Face to Face with David Oulton. If you don't know him, you will soon. He's a Calgary resident, actor, and real estate agent here in the area, and a now international talk shows host. A show being aired on Amazon Prime in July of 2020, and just recently acquired by Out TV, and will be available for viewers in Canada, the Americas, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and South America. And I hope I got that all right.
South Africa.
Oh, South Africa. Oh,
Yeah.
so you have this show now that you kind of created in early spring in 2020. And this was kind of during the height of the pandemic. Can you kind of give us a rundown of what transpired and how you decided to start this new venture?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much exactly what you said. I was like losing my mind during COVID. I was having deep, meaningful conversations with like the furniture. And I started seeing like to the point where the dog was already like, she was gone. She had checked out. She doesn't even come downstairs anymore. Like it was getting bad. And so then I started seeing everyone on Instagram, like Miley Cyrus and like everyone from her level and less doing these Instagram live things. And I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of cool. I'm like, I could do this. I know some interesting people I could do Instagram lives with. And within just kind of the course of that conversation and calling just a few people that I know and saying, I think I'm going to like piggyback off of this and, you know, something to keep busy. It was never supposed to be anything more than just something to occupy myself. Yeah, I got to deal with Amazon. And it was literally that simple as like just calling the right person who gave me the right connection, filled out this form. They said, sure, we'll distribute it. And then all of a sudden, like within a week, we were in pre-production on what would become a talk show.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy when you think about the timeline. It all happened like so fast, and from what I remember you telling me, it all the filming took place in like weeks, which was like very quick.
Yeah, we did the whole for like right there. You can't see because I'm not going to spin the thing around, but like right there in my living room, we did the whole first season in 3 days in my living room. So a Monday, Wednesday, we filmed for a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Thursday in my living room, and like had 6 episodes of television ready to go for that was the first week of June. And it premiered July 14th on Amazon.
Oh, that's crazy. That's such a whirlwind couple of days for you. Can you give us a quick explanation as like what Face to Face with David Oulton looks like?
Well, it's literally me sitting in a Versace bathrobe, drinking red wine and doing this, just having conversations with people. I mean, it's a production, but at its core, it's literally just having interesting conversations with interesting people. It's not current events. It's not, we don't sit and like dwell on COVID and everything going on in the world. Interesting, kind of timeless conversations about your careers, about interesting stories that you have. It's really at its, what essentially it's kind of evolved into is evening television with a glass of wine. And it's meant to be just easy watching, an escape with some cool people and not doom and gloom all the time on the TV. And if you happen to laugh or like you find something funny, all the better. Maybe you learn something from it. It's quite a range of, I mean, we've had comedians, we've had business people, we've had people on that are just sharing crazy stories, but it's meant to be, I guess what it was meant to be was just something to keep me busy. But now what it's kind of evolved into is light television where you can tune out the rest of the world and just hear from really interesting people for a bit.
Want to bring up, you've had some pretty big names on the show, to name a few: Carson Kressley, Perez Hilton, Vanessa Williams, but also you've had a very like Canadian segment as well with Amy Heft that we've introduced to Pride in Business viewers.
I love Amy.
Yeah, like we love Amy too, but you have Canadian comedian Deborah Giovanni from Much Music's Video on Trial, and then also Canadian reality star Daniel Maguire from The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise. Was it kind of important for you to like have a couple Canadian like influencers in there?
So, I mean, this is, yes, Canadian, yes, and specifically Calgary as well, yes. So, I mean, like Amy, Vicky McFadden is from Calgary, Sandy Summers, Val Planche. Like there's a lot of really kind of staple industry people that live in Calgary. So as this has grown and it has evolved, and you know, for our first season, I didn't know what was going to happen. And then we got good ratings and people seemed to like it. So then we just kept going with it. And so it is important, I think, to highlight not just Canada, but also local Calgarians. I don't think there's another show in Calgary, a talk show format like this that airs on the scale that this show now will be airing on, like prime time in 7 countries in less than a month. So I do think it's important to highlight the community. I mean, these are people that I've worked with and that I've known and that I've got to become friends with. And I think it's important that when you're on your way, not to sound arrogant, but when you're on your way up, bring as many people with you as you can, and hopefully when you're on your way down, those same people will be there to catch you.
It's like kind of give forward, pay it forward, and hopefully like the karma kind of comes back and all that other stuff. And you've definitely had a really good take at increasing the visibility of Calgary. You film at your 2nd season and now your 3rd season at the Fairmont Palliser, which is an awesome location. A great step forward from your 1st season where you filmed in your living room, but still really cozy nonetheless. Is there any kind of big plans for the following season 4 after all of them have been aired? What you want to do with that?
I don't know if this is a secret or not, but we are having all kinds of conversations about where we can take this. So do we, keep going and shooting in blocks like we're doing? And we film really far in advance. So I mean, there's pros and cons to that. So what we filmed last week, you won't see for a few months on television. Or do we kind of change the format and do more timely weekly shows? Do we do it live? Like, there's so many ways we can take this. Out TV, it's interesting because that came about so quickly, and they are super supportive and kind of, I could pick up the phone right now and Lauren, who's the head of broadcasting, she will answer on the first ring. She replies to emails immediately. So they're really cool to kind of flesh ideas out with, and just say, like, where do you want to see this going? Where can we take this? And kind of the response from them has been, well, how far can you take it and how big can you take it? So I mean, I feel like we have, well, how far can you take it and how big can you take it? So I mean, I feel like we have almost the sky's the limit, and I really have no idea. People seem to like it so far, which is nice.
It's awesome that Out TV has been so supportive, and they've given you kind of like a platform to really like increase the mass of your show. Before, when you first filmed it, it was only available on Amazon Prime streaming, and only in the US and only in UK. It must have been pretty tough to only have your content being viewed out of country and not have people here at home see it, right?
Ooh, you know what? I'm actually the opposite. I think that was like the perfect little, because now I had time to kind of ease into it, because the first season is the first season. I mean, we were trying to find, even through the 2nd season, like trying to find I think I'm actually kind of glad that it happened, because it gave me, I mean, social media is social media. So people in the US and Europe who saw it when it initially premiered, they found me on social media and they were full of their comments, good and bad. But I felt like it was kind of because I could just turn my phone off and no one here can see it. No one really knew about it here other than the people that I was telling about it. It wasn't a big deal when it first came out, especially here, because you couldn't see it here. So I was actually, in hindsight, I'm kind of glad that happened. And I don't know if I'm being arrogant or like full of myself with it, but I mean, the show has good ratings on Amazon, crazy ratings on IMDb. We get very little negative feedback about it, and the response has been really good. And kind of within the span of like a month, my social media started really growing exponentially, and it's a little overwhelming. Like, I'm super grateful and I love it, I'm not gonna lie, but in the same breath, it was nice because here you were a little insulated. I could turn my phone off and then no one knows, no one cares really here at that point, because you couldn't see it here. I'm kind of glad, because I feel like I've had a trial run, and now when it does start airing in Canada and a bunch of other countries, not just on streaming, but like on your TV guide, I feel like I've had a trial run and I know what to expect. I know from the first season, I know where I embarrassed myself. I know where I massively slipped up and like got my words confused, and it stayed in the show and was so embarrassing. So I've kind of had like this preview of what to expect.
Speaking of when it airs, you had mentioned that it'll be airing on Out TV. When will it be airing on Out TV now?
April, I don't know the specific day and time yet. That'll be like, from what I gather, that gets decided like a week or two ahead of time. It'll be in April. They have all of the show, they have all of the episodes. Yeah, April on television, and then streaming as well on that Out TV Go app, Amazon Prime Video, Fruit TV in the UK, Showmax in South Africa, Australia and New Zealand, I believe, is under Out TV, which you can find it like on TV New Zealand and stuff.
When we do finally know the launch date, we'll definitely make sure that everyone here follows it down the road here. So we'll definitely make a post and link everyone to your social media when we release this. But also, the show itself Out TV feels like such a great venue for you, being a part of the community yourself. You were originally born in Chester, England, grew up in Fort McMurray, lived in Vancouver and LA, and now reside in Calgary. Did you ever think a TV show host was part of your career path when you were going through this?
So I always answer this question by saying I had no idea, I could have never imagined, I had never knew. Like, are you kidding me? I know what I'm wearing to the Emmys. I have my speech planned. I'm ready for my Oscar when I transition from television to a film career. Like, maybe I'll do a Broadway show one day and I've got my Tony Award speech ready to go. I would be definitely lying if I never said I had, to some degree, imagined this. That being said, talk show host, no. I feel like I kind of have stumbled into this, and it is the best job ever, though. I mean, like, you get paid to sit in a bathrobe and drink wine and talk to interesting people all around the world. So I'm super grateful. But did I imagine a career in film and television? Yes, I did.
Well, and I wouldn't say stumbled into it, because you've very seamlessly glided into the project as well. Because from the first seasons that I've watched, you did a great job. Even though you said that you know where you've messed up, I still think you did great. And now that I've had the pleasure of sitting in with filming with you, I can see that it is a well-oiled machine now. Now that you're in season 3. And it looks great, and I can't wait to see what the whole season will look like when it's on the streaming service.
Did I not send you? I'll send you I have a link that I can send to people that I do like these interviews with. I can send you like some episodes if you want to see.
Yeah, totally. Send them away.
I'll send you some.
Now that you've gone, you're 3 seasons in and have hosted an array of different guests on the show. Is there a specific celebrity that you kind of just like were like flabbergasted that you're like, yes, I can't believe I got that?
Just realized, I looked on IMDb the other day where it lists all the guests, and I was like, holy shit, like we've had 50 people on the show now, like, and a couple of them have repeated, but we've had 50 different guests on the show, which is insane to me. I think there's a few that stand out. I mean, Natasha Henstridge was and is like hilarious and like so not what I expected, so articulate, so funny, so engaging, and so down to earth, so much fun that she came back on, and we did like a reverse interview where she interviewed me. Perez Hilton, most surprising from what you see of him and what I was expecting versus what I got. Way more authentic and way more open and genuine than I was expecting. I mean, I'm just happy that they all come on, to be honest with you. I mean, like, they're donating their time basically onto this show that to begin with really had no credibility and we had no traction. So I'm just happy that they took the time to come on the show.
Yeah. From the episodes I've seen, and everyone, they were all hilarious, and they were also open in discussing their careers and their kind of like anecdotal stories and everything. So I think it's such a natural fit for you to be kind of doing this with all these guests. It just seems very flawless, very seamless.
I love it. It's really great. I'm having so much fun with it and meeting these people and like getting to ask them questions, and it's crazy. I'm having so much fun with it.
Now, before we end this off, I want to thank you again for joining the show, or joining this interview, actually. And I wanted to ask you if you have any other projects you wanted to let us know about that are coming up in the near future that you think that the Calgary area would be really interested in hearing about.
So starting in, I believe the fall, kind of late summer or the fall, I will be hosting another show, like a morning show, kind of a hyper local version of Face to Face with David, but it's different on CTV Calgary. So starting in the
Awesome.
late summer, early fall. So yeah, so you can kind of go to bed with me on the weekdays on Out TV, and then you can wake up with me on CTV Calgary in the mornings. It's like it's either your dreams come true or your worst nightmare.
Hopefully not the worst nightmare, but fingers crossed.
And aside from that, I don't think so. So yeah.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Well, I'm so happy that you guys agreed to have a little interview with us. I know you've already spoken with Avenue Magazine and had a little, and the Calgary Herald. So we're just really blessed that you gave the time to kind of talk with me here with Pride in Business.
A mic that I can plug in, but if it's fine, it's fine.
You're killing me. You're killing me right now.
Oh, thank you. I love Pride in Business.
Awesome. Well.